flames of burning passion. When I look in your eyes, yes, yes, yes. Are you afraid to feel what you know is real, like any other guy?
Hello everyone, my name is David Michael Orion Peterson, and my grandparents like to call me Demo, and this is my poker channel. I am a recent college graduate from Michigan State University, and I've studied mathematics, astrophysics, and I'm about to pursue my master's in quantum physics over at the University of Oregon. But I've been playing poker since about the age of 8, and I've been studying it, and I've been able to pay off about a third of my entire tuition at Michigan State from poker. And this is me taking on the World Series. We're in Vegas! In today's episode, we're going to be taking a look at my bullet in the WSOP $1,500 Super Turbo Bounty Freezeout Tournament. On Thursday, June 21st, 2024, I went ahead and bought in the night before so I could rest easy knowing that my place was ready in the morning, 10 a.m. sharp. And luckily enough, I decided to have a great start to my morning. I decided to jog down to Ellis Island to get some steak and egg breakfast special and jogged my way back all the way in the 105-degree heat. Oh, it was actually kind of nice. I directly went straight to the swimming pool, took a quick 5-minute dip and meditated then a bit in the pool, just did a little float, showered up and head right down to Paris where we check in for our first table. The chips we're going to be using today are going to be red 5,000 chips, yellow 1,000 chips, purple 500 chips, and brown 100 chips. And we will start with 25,000 in our stack with a 100 big blind ante. And let's go. These are 20-minute levels. It's turbo. We're going to get stacks in the middle pretty quickly. Let's see if we can win our flips today. How about it? All right, 1,500 Super Turbo Bounty about to start here in about 5 minutes. About to go take my seat. Let's roll, let's roll. Starting off early with this 100 with a 100 big blind ante level 1 that is. We are in the button with pocket 9s. Let's go, feeling pretty good, let's go. Under the gun raises up to 300. Our boy on the right of us in the cutoff calls 300, and I like to 3-bet do about 1,400. This is pretty aggressive play, raising to 14 big blinds, but I have noticed with some solvers sometimes, especially deeper, we like to 3-bet larger, even in position, especially as well. And with the cold caller out of the cutoff, I decided to bump it up even a little bit more and put some pressure on position. And the flop comes King 7-6 Rainbow. Our pocket 9s are feeling all right here, enough for a small C-bet. So the cutoff checks, we fire 1,100 and scoop down this small pot to start the day. The second significant hand of the day comes in the level 2, 100-200 with a 200 big blind ante. The under the gun player elects to raise to 3 big blinds, 600 chips. The low jack player decides to call, and so do I out of the cutoff with ace-9 of diamonds. I don't mind seeing a multi-way flop with this medium strength suited ace in the spot when I'm expecting little to no aggression out of the blinds and the button. Just initial reads. And so the big blind also decides to come along. So we have a 4-way pot to a flop of ace-king 6 rainbow. I have top pair, but we are in a 4-way pot, and so we want to be a little cautious with how we play. We don't want to just pile everything in because it's easy for people to have 2 pair or stronger hands as well when you're playing multiple opponents. And so the big blind, original raiser, low jack, and myself decide to check back. That's right, I just decided to check this one back. A little bit of pot control. I feel I can get pretty light calls on the turn and the river when the flop checks through, especially with like a medium strength top pair. And so we go to a turn 5. This is inconsequential. The big blind and the initial raiser both check, and the low jack gets a little serious. Fires out a small bet of 700 in this pot, and I decide to just smooth call once again. playing fairly passive. Both the blind and the initial raiser fold, and we go to a river 9. We have aces up. Here we go. The low jack player decides to slow down though and checks. And I have a decision to make. I now have a very strong hand, which is more than likely, like 95% of the time, the best hand in this situation. This is a spot where I want to go big to get the most out of just a single top pair or a random king that doesn't believe this young face right here, or even a random 5 or 6, which once again doesn't believe this young face right here. We get a lot of calls. How about it? And so we fire out 4,000 chips, but in this situation we do get the fold, but we are happy to take down a small pot here. In our first big pot of the tournament, we look down at pocket 6s in the cutoff, and a stack of about 20 big blinds effective from under the gun decides to raise to 1,300 in this now 300, 600 with the 600 big blind annual level. And it folds to us in the cutoff. I like to jam all in. I think putting people to the test with a pair, especially in a bounty tournament, this is the time to put pressure on. And if we just take down the blinds and the raise, perfect as well. And it folds around back to the under the gun player who has a little bit of a think. This is another younger player, and he is capable of making big folds, but he also ponders, why all in? I hear him say, why do you go all in? I was actually quite deep relative to him at the time, and there was also another player on my left that was also pretty deep. My read on this player that had a similar stack to me though was that he really wasn't going to get involved unless he had literally aces, kings, or queens. I think he was the type to potentially even fold ace, king, king. And so I, without any fear, jammed pocket 6s, and after a good minute or so of thought, the under the gun player sticks in his chips. Let's go to a run out. How about it? And we look down at pocket 6s versus king, queen suited. Let's see the run out. And we hold, just like that, first bounty of the tournament, $500 in the bank. How about it? All right, just finished up break, 6 levels down. I'm at around 45,000, 1 bounty in the pocket, and feeling pretty good. Let's go. Yeah. All right, we're on second break now. 4 hours down, level 11 just finished, and I'm at 104,000 stack, and feeling pretty good. So blinds are about to be, let's see, 1,000, 2,500 once we get back. That'll leave me with a solid 40 big blind stack, feeling pretty good. A lot of people getting short after this break. They're gonna be dropping like flies, so I'll be ready to catch the punts, catch some more bounties. Let's do it. All right, we're on the third break of the day. We're getting very close to the money bubble. Top 317 will be paid, and I believe we're a little over 400 people remaining. And holy shit, let's go. We're running hot. We're picking up big pocket pairs when short stacks keep going all in, and we just keep scooping it up. What can I say? Average stack is at 122,000. I'm at 264,000. We're feeling good. Let's go.
Players in that bounty, we did lose 4 players on that final stand. The remaining players are Tournament dealer is very important at this point. Tournament dealer is very important.
Tensions are getting high as we just shifted tables and we have a big stack to our left. So that is kind of unfortunate because we're starting to get a big stack of ourselves, but if he is to our left and has us covered significantly, we do not get to experience the full liberties of experiencing a big stack on the bubble. And so this was kind of disappointing. I was really hoping for a quick table break, but that is not what we get. In this next hand, we are in the blind versus blind against this big stack on our left. We are out of the small blind with ace-3 offsuit, and the blinds are 5,000, 10,000 with a 10,000 big blind 80. And we are about 300k deep, so about 30 blinds effective. And this is a spot where I think depending on the player in the big blind, you can go all three ways. You can raise against players who are going to give up too much. You can fold against players who, maybe even in this spot, are aggressive enough and have you covered in such a late stage tournament spot. And you could also go around just calling against some players as well. In this spot, I decided to raise to 3.5 big blinds, 35,000. I still want to put the pressure on. Even though he has a big stack, I think I can still play some pots, especially in the blind versus blind spot. So I raise it up, he calls. We go to a flop of Queen 5 deuce, and I elect to fire a c-bet of 20,000 chips. He takes a moment and he calls. Turn comes a king of clubs. This is a card that we can rep. We are raising a lot of strong kings here. We are just overall having a really good range advantage against the big blind, who would also be raising off a lot of his strongest hands pre-flop. And so this is a spot where I bet again, this time for 55,000 chips. And the player in the big blind elects to call one more time. At this point, I'm feeling a little bit worse because we just invested about a third of our chip stack in this entire hand. Granted, there is the gambler's fallacy, the sunk cost fallacy. Just because we put that much in does not mean we are entitled to that money anymore. It's now gone. And so you want to evaluate your decisions based on each individual point at that moment in time. And on the river, when it comes ace 6, I am now left with ace high, and I am facing an opponent who, due to him having a lot of chips, I think he could have floated me here with many weak pairs, any flop deuces or fives or queens that didn't believe a second barrel, and potentially even some strong hands like kings. I'm not expecting to be able to bluff those off, but I think if I put in another bet here, we can start to see some folds from some of these weaker hands, or if he was just floating us with some garbage hoping to take it away on a later street, he might just fold because we've just 3-barreled. And so I verbally announced 95,000, hoping to make it look like I'm trying to give him, like, you know, that supermarket discount, you know, the $9.99 type deal. So I make it 95,000 rather than 100. I think he'll be pretty elastic and maybe even pick up on that, and we're in a little leveling war, but it doesn't seem to matter because he quickly makes the call and flips over King Jack, and we're quickly dwindling down in chips. But I do have to say, I think exploitatively, I made a good-ish sizing. I think against a lot of opponents this late in a tournament, they will respect the bet of 95,000 just as much as they would a lot more chips. Although I do have to argue that maybe going all in puts max pressure, and that is what the solver would recommend, as we see here. But exploitatively against humans, I think we can get pretty much the same effect with less chips. So when we do run into the nuts, we are still alive, especially against a chip leader with ICM pressure. But unfortunately, this time we are dwindled. We are down to only around 110k, about 11 big blinds. Tough. Shortly after that crippling blow in the blinds, we look down at a premium, ace queen of hearts. All right, we look around, nobody's raised, it's fold to us in the cutoff. What else is there to do really than just go all in? I guess you could argue we could mid-raise and see a flop against certain players out of the blinds. I think that's good, but once again, we have that big stack to my left. There's a chance he might just call me light with like hands like ace jack, ace 10, ace 9, ace 8, and we can be flipping against a lot of weak pairs. Otherwise, we are happy to take down the blinds until the big blind snap calls, flips over aces, and our life is on the line. Let's go to a run out. Oh, I'll take that flop all day. We flopped some life. We're not dead yet. Good playing, guys. Oh, and the river bricks out, but it's okay. I was happy to have any life at all during that run out. Too bad that it bricked out. It would have been nice to make a nice deep run in this tournament. But we are happy nonetheless. This is my first ever WSOP event, and I'm pretty happy to say I did pretty good. I got 6 bounties, and I placed 267th out of about 2,100 entries, where 317 were paid, and we get a nice payday of about $4,800 total, with only $1,500 going in. How about it? This is a great start to the trip. We got here Tuesday night, and this has been Thursday. We still have the Millionaire Maker coming up this weekend. Let's see how that can go. Stay tuned for a video on that tournament. I did go ahead and fire a bullet into there, and there were some exciting faces that I came across. So we have a lot of great content coming up. Stay tuned. Please leave a like, subscribe, share this with a friend. This is really just a summer project of mine. I'm just gonna give it a good faith effort, put a couple videos out here, see where it takes us. But at the end of the day, I hope this is a learning experience for you guys as well as me along the way. And so, yeah, let's have some fun with this. Thank you guys. Hopefully you click on another video down below, and have a great day.